Sometimes it's really, really hard to remain calm in an argument, because sometimes we find that when we are in an argument, our emotions tend to flare up and we don't know how to really remain calm. And sometimes we find that a small argument really turned into a fight because one of the parties didn't know how to remain calm. So the question really remains that how do you how do you remain calm in an argument? Many people don't know how to remain calm, and there are some strategies. If you really want to be the reasonable person in an argument, or maybe you want to be the calm person in an argument, there are some steps or there are some things that you can do to always be to remain calm and to avoid unnecessary drama if maybe you find yourself in an argument. So what are those things that you can do to remain calm in an argument? And one of the things that you can do is, one, practice proactive listening. And what do we mean by practice proactive listening? When you're talking about practice proactive listening, this is where you're trying to now understand the other person's perspective rather than respond immediately. Where you find that when you find that maybe you are having a talk and the talk is now escalating into an argument, you should have proactive listening skills. And when you're talking about proactive listening skills, this is when where we encourage people to, instead of just responding immediately, try to understand what is the other person talking, where understand them, how are they reasoning. Try to put yourself in their shoes and try to understand what is the context of whatever the information they're trying to relay. What is the context, or why do these people, or why is this person thinking the way they are thinking at that particular moment. And if you try to understand, you find that sometimes you even relate with them, and maybe you'll find that you can even relate to the situation that they are in. And instead of just responding immediately, just try to understand why is it that they are saying, or why is it that they are arguing the way they are, or what are they trying to communicate. And then number two, the other step or the other thing that you can do in order to remain calm in an argument is take deep breath. This is where now first we encourage people to just pause and take a deep breath. Pause and take a deep breath. This is where you find that you start, if your emotions had already flared up, they'll start going down. You start to reason. You start not feeling, when your emotions are flared up, you feel like fighting, and you cannot even argue reasonably. You cannot even make a conclusive statements. So it is good to take a deep breath, and that way you'll be able to calm yourself down, and you'll be able to talk in a manner that the other person will understand, and you'll be able to even communicate effectively. Also, when you are in an argument, you should use the I statements. Why do we say that you should use the I statement? When you're trying to communicate something and you're feeling like you're getting agitated, try to use the I statements, because when you say, I did this and this, I wanted this and this, I thought this and this, you find that you're shifting the blame to yourself, not the other person. So it doesn't feel like you're blaming the person for whichever the argument for as the cause of the argument. And you find that this is prompting an open communication, and it also reduces tension, because you're now, instead of accusing the other person and feeling like the other person will now start feeling like you're blaming them, when you use the I, you're trying to shift the whole argument to be about you. And this person will now start relaxing because they don't feel like they're being blamed for something that they did not do. And then another way to remain calm in an argument is step away if there is need. Because sometimes you find that you're arguing with a person, but the person is really, it's not a person you can argue with, because they are not reasoning with you. They're just bluffing out answers. They're just blurting out, and they are not taking a step back to really listen to themselves. And you find that it's like you're arguing with a child. So sometimes you find that a small argument, you can notice that it's escalating, and maybe in the end you feel like this small argument will turn into a fight, and I don't want to be involved in a fight. So at that moment, that is where now you take a step and walk away. And you find that at that moment you're acting like the mature person, and instead of escalating the situation, you just now make the situation to reside. So it is good when you feel like the heat is really getting up, just walk away, and you will save yourself from a fight. You save yourself from humiliation. You save yourself from embarrassment, and you also go home feeling at least you did not really, you go home without wounds. So another way that you can actually remain calm in an argument is empathize. And what do we mean by empathize? Empathize is where you try to see the situation from the other person's perspective. Maybe you try to ask yourself, what if I was the person who, if I was in the other person's shoes, how would I have reacted? How would I have reasoned? How would I have maybe come? How would I have handled the situation? And once you try to put yourself in the other person's shoes, you're able to even understand like why are they behaving the way they are. Maybe you find, let's say it's an argument because someone maybe stole from you, and you will find that maybe even this person was not genuinely, this person stole from you because they, at that moment maybe they were dying, because maybe it's a snack they stole from you, and this person felt that if I ask for this snack, this person will not give me, so it's I'd rather steal from him, eat, and then explain myself later. So you find that sometimes you try to reason with these people, they give you the reasons why they did something, and you find that sometimes it's not worth having an argument over that issue. So it is time sometimes good to really empathize with a person. So those are some of the ways that you can actually remain calm in in an argument. I hope you have learned a thing or two. If you have learned something, leave it in the comment section and I'll be sure to read it out. Make sure at the end of this video you like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit on the notification button so that every time I upload a new video, you can always be notified. And if you're interested in learning more about argument, how to handle arguments in a maybe in the workplace, how to handle arguments in your life, how to avoid conflicts. In short, if you want to learn more about conflict management, you can enroll at Finstock Evarsity. Visit their website at www.finstockevarsity.com or call them at 0703 313 722, or even send them an email at info@finstockevarsity.com.